Good morning, Wayne Hills. Today is Wednesday, March 16th. Welcome to another video morning announcement. I'm Becca Cohen.
And I'm Riya, Kachroo. Today we will take an inside look at our second half of winter sports here at Wayne Hills.
The boys basketball team did pretty well this year with a 13-15 record. Here's Noah Sandler for a recap.
Wayne Hills boys basketball had a season full of ups and downs with a 13-15 record, and they were 7-3 in the Big North Conference in the Independence Division. They made it to the second round of counties where they unfortunately lost to Valley in a close one, and then in the states tournament they lost another tough game against Riverdale. Some leading scorers for this team throughout the season were Andre Macarenas, James Adamo, Ali Mansuroglu, Luke Crissati, Zach Muller, then Corey Mulholland, who came in late in the season. So those guys really carried the team to where they made it to in the season. They fought through every game. There were a lot of close games, but unfortunately they couldn't make it as far as they were probably hoping to. But in the end, they did have some great moments.
The boys fencing team has been doing rather well for a team that is mostly made up of underclassmen. Here's senior Kevin Valencia with an update.
So this year's fencing season is somewhat back to normal, per se, than last year's fencing season. So last year, we all had to wear masks at all times. We didn't have that many meets, and we only had a month to prepare for the regular fencing season. The team's biggest highlights this year was actually one of our epes individuals, Artem, just getting first within counties. Our foil team is going to states. We have someone who's one of the top 16 in states right now. Key players on the team. Within the Sabres, Ethan Storzillo has been definitely doing a lot of great bouts. We have several young players who are doing great as well. Within the foil team, I can definitely give the foil team a lot of credit. Last year, we weren't that great with foils. Now this year, with Nick D and Sean Perrius, we're definitely carrying out a lot of great bouts and doing a lot of great touches. Currently, right now, we are 7-4. We are not going to states for the Sweet 16, unfortunately. However, we've been doing a lot. We've been doing quite well, for given the fact that our team is extremely young. We placed fourth in counties, which is honestly amazing for a team that is mostly comprised of sophomores and juniors.
The wrestling team finished their season off strong with a positive record of 13-10. Here is senior Jack Osback with an update.
Well, first off, I know with the COVID season, it was very shortened. First off, it was pushed back. It normally starts in November, the Monday of Thanksgiving. And last year with COVID, it started not until March. And it was a shortened season. It was only like 2 months, a little less than that. This year, we got the full experience. And as a team, we were able to develop more with the more practice time in the room and the more matches we had. Definitely beating Valley for the second year in a row was definitely a standout. I think we were on this 30-year drought, I believe. I'm not sure the exact amount of years before that of not beating Valley. So that was definitely a key moment this year. And we also made the state sectional tournament. I'll get into that later. It's hard to pick out a few key wrestlers on the team because we're all good. But the guys that made the region tournament, which was hosted this past weekend, were myself, Mohammed Solomon, who's a senior, John Sees is a junior, Joseph Lucarello, he's a sophomore, Austin Fava is also a sophomore, as well as Matt Lehman, who's a junior. Looking back at it, we had a very successful season. I think our record was 13-11 or 13-10. We had a winning record, which is definitely something to be proud of looking back at it. And just got to keep going forward.
This February, the boys' swim season has come to an end. Let's see sophomore Mateus Campos with a season recap.
This year at counties, we came in third place, and we were able to beat Clifton by 1.5 points, which is less than 2 places. And a few weeks before, we lost to them. So for us, it was a very big moment, and I'd say we were very successful. Honestly, at the end, everyone's happy. Even though we lost a bunch of our meets, probably the best moment was everyone being there together, and the locker room was a lot of fun too. This year we were able to have, I think, 6 more meets than last year. We had 2 championship meets, which all of our swimmers were able to match or beat their times. Honestly, everyone on the team was very important, and they all played a really good part of their role. Especially the air relays, they were able to bring in a bunch of points and a bunch of places in big tournaments.
The boys ice hockey team had a strong season this year, going 14-8-3. Sophomore Michael Brogna, junior Josh Spungen, and senior Luke Colbert led the way with over 45 points each. Senior captains Ben Friedman, Joey Rena, and Josh Flom also had outstanding seasons. Here's Josh Flom to give a brief recap on the season.
It's interesting playing in front of fans. There's less restrictions in terms of locker room and just where we're getting prepared. Get to the rink early and have our normal preparation for game day. Winning the county chip was fun. It was something I was never able to do since a freshman, so doing it my senior year was cool. And Luke Holbert getting his 100th point. It's a big milestone. We have defenseman Ben Friedman, who's a strong player on both ends of the ice. Luke Holbert, who's putting up a lot of points this year. He's doing great. Josh Spungen, winning lots of face-offs and just being an overall great player to the team. Counties we've won, took that home over PCTI. States we're looking forward to potentially playing at the Prudential Center. On March 7th.
The boys bowling team finished their season on a very successful note. The senior boys put their all into their last season at Hills. Here's Mr. Boz with a recap.
So for counties, we came in third place in counties, and in the states we finished third as well. We could have done a little better. We were in first place after one game in states, and then we fell off a little bit in games 2 and 3, but overall we still had a pretty nice showing. So biggest highlights this year, we had 2 players that were first team all-county. We had 2 players that were second team all-county. And the state tournament, again, like I said, we had a nice little showing. I wasn't sure about how the season was going to go, but we had a couple kids show up that kind of propelled our team to do a little better than was expected. So competition felt like competition this year. Last year, nobody was allowed on the lanes together, so when we were bowling another team, we were separated, and it kind of felt like practice, and the kids couldn't get really pumped up to play another team. Whereas this year, it was a little more normal. Teams were versing each other right on the same alleys. You could see how the other team was doing. You could react to how they were doing. They reacted to how you were doing. So overall, the competitive fight was way different this year, way better. So I have 2 guys that really stood out. They were both seniors this year. Zach Kozlowski averaged just about 200 on the season. He made first team all-county. And then another senior, Zach Jordan, he averaged 212 for the season, first team all-county. And then for states, for the first time, I believe, since I've been coaching here, he's finished the best in the individual state tournament that's ever come through the school. He finished 13th in the entire state for the season. So those are my 2 biggest names for the year.
The winter track team had a successful season. The girls team won counties, and boys 4x4 was first in both leagues and counties, and was first team all league and all county. The team worked hard all season long, and they are looking forward to the spring track season.
I think that we were successful during counties because Rob Hughes made it past shot put, and the 4x4 for boys made it past counties too.
I think, personally, when the girls won groups, it was our biggest achievement.
Last year, we had to stay outside the whole time, so we didn't have any indoor meets. So this year, we actually get to go inside, but we still have to wear masks, but not when we're running.
So obviously, me and Sid, we call ourselves the captains.
We're committed to Duke and
University of Florida. And then Austin Knapp, Rob Hughes, Alex Maynard, Logan,
Sophia Carney, and her
So
sister.
Okara. There's just a lot of, everyone's good.
Everyone's amazing. That's what makes the team our
And we
team.
had a great team bond.
Yeah, we love each other.
We love you, Jack.
Stay tuned for our next morning announcement where we will be previewing the upcoming Spirit Weekend rally.
Got a suggestion on what should be on the next VMA? DM us on Instagram or Twitter at Wayne Hills TV. I'm Becca Cohen.
And I'm Riya Kachroo, and you just watched the video morning announcements.